Single, a mom, an entrepreneur, juggling it all and talking about topics while on the go. Hi, I'm Lisa Waldron, and this is GO10LISA Podcast. Are you ready to listen to the best podcast that's real, inspiring, and sometimes cringe? Okay, get ready, get comfy, and go! Hello everyone, this is On The Go. Guys, we are here in March. I am Lisa Waldron, by the way. We're here in the month of March in 2024, and I'm all congested. I met a lady today. I was somewhere and I met a lady and she had on her mask, and we were talking about allergies because today it was like freezing in the morning and we're having a cold front and a freeze watch alerts on our phones. And you hear me sniffling because the whole right side of my face is so congested right now. And she said, yeah, she had it bad a couple of weeks ago to the point that she was in the hospital because of her allergies. And she also has hay fever. I was like, yeah. Not yeah in regards to her being sick, but yeah, like finally somebody else has hay fever like me. I get hay fever and I have allergies. And I was telling her that a lot of people still don't know what hay fever is, right? But it's part of allergen as well. Well, the way it affects me, because we were like, yes, this is what happens. So the way that it works is that your whole right side, your nose is stuffed up, your eyes are beginning to run. It happens all on one side, typically the right side first. And then once that gets better, then your whole left side goes through the whole process again. And then that gets better, hopefully. But yeah, and then, so I was like, no, something is blooming in Georgia, because as I told you guys before, if you've been listening to me for a while, that I've identified at least 5 major things that when they are blooming, it affects me really, really bad. I even took a picture of it today so I can, this is what affected me today. It's not bad, but I'm still congested enough. So today they had it as the Atlanta pollen count. This is not sponsored, but basically, if I can get the picture right, but it won't go, is that Georgia oak, and pine and mulberry, that's at least 3 of the 5, hackberry and sweet gum, grass, weed, and mold. And they have it close to extreme red. But sometimes even when it's not listed as extreme as far as the pollen, it still affects me. Well, this time it's near the red mark. So I hope that I can get through this podcast because I am so congested right now. And for allergies, all of you allergy sufferers out there like me, each state, each part of the world is different. And what helps is when I get hay fever, because a lot of that is dust and pollen, I tend to like clean my house and go into clean overdrive, because a lot of dust could be in your house, and it has to do with when you even open your door and all that pollen and all that stuff is coming in. Normally with the dogs, what I used to do is that as soon as I know it's pollen season and they go outside, I would have to wipe them down. One of my cousins, every time he would visit, even though I said my dogs are hyperallergenic, not allergic, like anything to be allergic on them, but he would always sneeze and get infected. And then come to find out after we researched, it was because they were coming in and out of the house with the pollen. And we didn't really see the pollen on them. So that's why, as a tidbit, when you have any animals, make sure that you wipe them down, especially during allergy season. So I say all of that to say that's what's happening to me, guys, right now. So hopefully I can get through this episode. Now, on to today's episode. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Lisa Waldron, and this is episode 7 of season 24. Oh, by the way, if you haven't listened to me a couple of weeks ago, I did say I was feeling that urge to cut off all my hair, and I did. I did. So if you want to see what it looks like, be sure to follow GO10LISA, the vlogs on YouTube. Just type in Go, the number 10, LISA, all one word, and then you'll find me there. So as I mentioned before, I'm suffering from a lot of allergies and hay fever. But here's another interesting thing also. Maybe because I just watched some kind of scary movie. It wasn't scary, but it was more like, it's kind of like make you think, what would you do in that situation? And as I was about to record this episode, I heard like a big bang, like somebody banging on the front door. And I'm like, who the heck could that be banging on the door like that, you know? And then, of course, I had to do like a search of the whole house. Who else is like that? But the movie that I was watching earlier was called Alone. This is not sponsored, but basically a single woman just driving and taking a trip, and then some weird guy tried to kidnap. He did kidnap her. It's just certain things throughout the show you would ask yourself as a woman, as anyone out there, especially a woman, what would you do? It just makes you think, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these are like planned, they're plots, and then come to find out that this wasn't his first kidnapping kind of thing, so I won't give it all away. But that's just a nice segue into what we're going to discuss again. This is the first time that I think, I think it was about Kanye in the past that I've done where I talked about someone twice in a season. So in this season, season 24, here we are again, talking about Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales. Listen, I wasn't going to, I think my last video where I talked about what my suspicions were about Kate Middleton were enough, because there's been so many speculations. All I'm going to say is that 2024, if you haven't figured it out already, is the year of truth, okay? Meaning that a lot of lies are being exposed little by little. Lies. Just like the movie I just watched, even though it was going like a bad way, but it was still planned and plotted, what I'm saying is that a lot of the news that we're getting from the royal family as far as news is making us here in America and all over the world look like idiots. But isn't that what I said in my last episode when I was talking about the royal family? I feel like we're still have the wool pulled over our eyes about this whole situation. We're not there. We're on the outside speculating. But so far, since my last video, I'll tell you what's been going on. There's been more speculations. People are coming up with their own. They're actually debuking all of these fake pictures that are going on out there. It's now to the point that I think England, the government officials are now demanding that the royal family prove that Kate is alive, because so many people are wondering. And then the royal family allegedly are like, well, we already told you that she's having surgery. But we all know it's not surgery at this point. Come on. So then they put out several pictures. Now, when you think about it, in the past, we would have been like, oh, yeah, that's her. It's okay. She's okay. But then, now that the truth is coming out about a lot of things, everything happened in its time, guys. It's like you don't know what to believe. And now you have TMZ and all these major top people who does entertainment or news or whatever are reposting these pictures that they think are legit because it's coming from the royal palace, allegedly, and then only to find out that people on the streets out here are smarter than you think. Because what do you think they do? What do you think they do? They go out there and go look at the picture and they say, but wait, hold up a second here. Hold up a second. You just said Kate was having surgery? Well, if she having surgery and she took off all this long time, then why on earth is she driving around? Why is she at a farm? When I saw that recent farm picture of her, alleged picture of her and William, let me go back, rewind. So before on UK's Mother's Day, apparently a picture came out of Kate and her kids. So when I look at the picture, I was going to comment on some other, because I follow the Royals, the Windsor, all those kind of pages on Instagram, and I was going to comment and say, I don't know, I just felt like it was fake. And I didn't comment. I was just saying to myself, that's kind of ironic that the whole world is wondering, where on earth is Kate? Where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? Do you remember that cartoon? So it's kind of like the same thing. Where on earth is Kate Middleton? They said she's home, but is she really home? Knock, knock. Can anybody go on the property? No, because it's private property. The kids taken out of school. Remember I was telling you in my last episode about the school situation? Well, apparently they're out of school because they don't want the kids them talking about to other kids. You know, kids will tell your business in a second. And it's just innocent talk with kids because they don't know. You know what I mean? And so then, from our last update, Camilla took off, which is King Charles's wife, took off. All of a sudden, she not feeling good, so she's going to take care of her husband, who allegedly have cancer. So the two of them gone off. Then this one take vacation. It's like a royal S show, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what on earth? It's like a family falling apart at the seams, apparently. You know, sometimes when you try to uphold like a standard, oh, we're royalty, and this is how we live, only to see the pieces, everything. You know what I want? You know what I really, really want? I want one of them for the first time in their life to just stand up and tell the truth. Stand up and tell the truth. And every time I look at a story that comes out, whether it's from Buckingham, it's not even so much from Buckingham Palace, that it's all from Kensington, which is from William's camp, allegedly. You know, it doesn't matter. They're all royal. It's all coming from their household. That's like, you know, sometimes I try to put myself in their shoes and say, I'm royalty. I know I'm royalty already. Let's just get that out of the way. I know I'm royalty, right? So let's just put it like this. Who the heck is Lady C? You know, I'm getting off path a little bit. But Lady C is this socialite that lives in England. And if you hear her accent right off the bat, you know that she's one of us. She's Jamaican. You know what I mean? But I looked up, who is this Lady C that keeps coming up and talking about the royal family? Does she have some kind of money play in this? Like, who the heck is she? Like, never heard of Lady C all this time, and the royal family is actually allowing her to talk and say whatever. She's not saying anything other than read between the lines and get what she's saying kind of thing. So I did a little research. I'm getting a little bit off subject here. And so I did a little research to say, who is this Lady C? I forgot what her name is, but I think they call her Lady C. So Lady C, real quick, I'll just sum it up. When I was younger, you know, this was before my time, but maybe they reran it when I was younger. I don't know why I was watching this show, but there was a show called Trapper John MD. Does anybody remember that show? Maybe I'm dating myself, but or maybe I was at somebody's house. I don't know, but I remember watching that show. I don't know why I liked that show when I was younger. Maybe because it had mystery, or maybe somebody else was watching it and then I was watching it. But what was interesting about this one episode of Trapper John MD that stuck in my head all these years is that Trapper John MD was a medical show. Back then, it had a little bit of mystery or something. It was more like what you guys watch back in the day, Grey's Anatomy. I never was a Grey's Anatomy fan. I know. But it was kind of like that, the drama that goes on in the hospital, but it was back then, right? I think it was in the 70s or 80s, Trapper John MD, or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I remember this one particular episode because I was fascinated because it had to do with a little baby. And I was like, what are they talking about? And then it wasn't until halfway I kind of got what they were talking about. And basically, it was a case where the baby was born with two genitals, if you know what I mean. So the family had to decide whether they wanted the baby to be a boy or the girl because, and I think that's what captured my brain. Like, I didn't know that can happen. But I didn't know back then in television, a lot of it was made up, but I think throughout the years they try to make things or get things from real life stories or something. I don't know what I was thinking, but I know they tried to be as accurate as possible to make the show relatable or to make you think, that this is real life events, to make you even think that you want to be a doctor or a nurse or whatever it is that they portray on TV, because they try to have a consultant or somebody on the set, to give real, hospital terminology or whatever. So what captivated me as a young child was that I didn't know that was possible, number one. And then looking back now as an adult, thinking about the episode, I'm like, why on earth would I even remember that? Because I was just like, they have two genitals? What? And then the hard decision for the parents, because that's what the show was about, because the mother wanted one thing and the father wanted another. And I think they went by what the father said because he was the head of the household or something like that. And they were in shock because they couldn't believe that's what happened. But anyway, when I was doing my research about Lady C, the same thing happened. So here I go. Was Trapper John MD based on her? Was he, I don't know, whatever. So apparently, from what I read in the research, allegedly, they chose one decision, and then later on she changed to who she is now. So I bring all of that up to say that I never heard of Lady C. I don't follow anybody else except for the direct family members unless one of them said something, did something, or whatever. But she has been showing up a lot lately since Charles has been diagnosed and Kate made her announcement about her so-called abdominal surgery or whatever. She's been making a lot of interviews, and first she was bad-mouthing Megan, and I was like, hold up, who is she? I don't care for what she has to say. But then I saw another interview with a young guy, I forgot what his name is, and she was doing an interview with him, and he was asking her questions about, and I kind of got the message that if you read between the lines and what she's saying, it's kind of like she's saying they need to make a decision and everyone needs to know who's relevant in that family, something along the lines, allegedly. But here's the thing. Then I started thinking, because I have been watching, what's that show called? The Feud on Hulu with Truman Capote's movies. One was with Betty Davis, and the other one with Betty Davis feud with Joan Crawford, and now they have one with some socialites. I'm going to talk about that in episode 10 in my hot topics, in my go topics. And but basically, I got, from watching that show a little bit, I got to see a little bit in the New York socialite world back in the 60s or 70s. That's what the show was based off, that time period. So when they introduced Lady C, are you guys still with me to understand? Follow along so I can tell you where I'm going with this. So when they show on Hulu what the socialite world looked like, I am looking now at Lady C, who is in England, and I'm looking at her because her house, they did a tour of her house, and her house is filled with a lot of the royal family and their ancestors and stuff. So maybe she's part of the family or she's up there. But a lot of these socialites, from what my perspective, is that they have money. You know, they're up there with the top people, them. But a lot of them, I'm thinking now, is like, how much of an influence do these socialites have with these families? Like, how much money, how much businesses, how much of anything is an investment when you're on that level of money? You know what I mean? And what exactly is a socialite? I should have had that guy. Guys, I'm like, I may end this episode a little bit early because I'm like so congested right now, and I had to open up both the front door and the back door and look. And a socialite, according to Google Dictionary, is a person who is well known in fashionable society and is fond of social activities and entertainment. In other words, they gossip. They have money and they gossip, and they think that they're richer than the rich, and they act a certain way, and they don't mingle with the rest of the people, or they pretend. That's how I kind of look at socialites. It's like, oh darling, we only dine with our regular folks, and then they're normally like the congressman's wife, or this one that owns $1 billion soda business or whatever kind of business, and the wives get together because the husbands are normally having affairs and this and that and whatever, according to the show I was watching. But any socialite out there listening to my podcast or whatever, or watching it on YouTube, anybody know a socialite out there? So how does this relate to what I'm talking about? It relates to that they shut down pretty much the entire press in the United Kingdom. You can't talk about my mistress. You can't talk about my alleged babies out there. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. They shut down and control a lot of the press that goes on in England, in London, in the whole Europe or whatever, right? So here it is that you have this socialite lady, and she and somebody else have inside scoop. But is it really inside scoop? Or is it that they're using her to give you little tidbits? Or maybe they know. Here's the thing. Lady C can say whatever she want to say. I can say whatever I want to say. At the end of the day, we don't know anything. We don't live with the royal family. We're not up in their house. We don't know the truth. You know what I mean? But sometimes I do put myself like, what if I was up there with that social status of money and whatever, and I see this was happening in my family, God forbid? Would I come out? Of course I would have okay, let's rewind. If I was like Charles, I'm the parent, and I have a child, and the child is acting kind of like I don't care what you say because I'm going to be king anyway, so you can talk all you want to or whatever kind of attitude, you better believe I'm going to have a little conversation with the said child, okay? And at the end of the day, it's not too late, Charles, to change the will. You can change the rules. I said this before, I'll say it again. I had a feeling a couple of years ago, for whatever reason, that Harry and Meghan are going to be running that royal family, and they are going to be the ones to take over. I don't know what it is why I thought that a couple of years ago. I just said, because you know why? Life is short, people. And you can't be acting like you're acting and think that you're going to live forever, because that's not the case, okay? So they've been living this privileged life for a very long time, and with privilege comes entitlement. With privilege come attitude. With privilege come, I can do whatever the heck I want to do and nobody's going to tell me anything. That's what money gives you to some degree, especially if you're not humble. You understand me? So, that being said, Kate produced the children. She did her job. I am just now finding out. Even my mother said that she knew about William's alleged affairs. I didn't know. And remember I told you guys that I've been following them, but every now and then I kind of like drift off and I don't want to hear anything about them, to be quite honest. And then they do something and then bring me back where I kind of like pay a little bit of attention, but it wasn't as when I was younger. I come to the realization that we're all human. It doesn't matter about titles, because titles can come and go. And at the end of the day, it's their life. You know what I mean? But like I said, the truth will always, always make you a winner. And then I try to put myself in Charles' position as a parent to say, what on earth do you do when the whole entire world is looking at your child and your child is going off and gallivanting and doing whatever? You know what I do? I take a look at the parents and say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, you got to take a look at yourself as a parent, and you got to take a look at yourself, at your child. First of all, when I saw The Crown, because I love that show, The Crown, which is based off the royal family, they may say it's not real, but there has to be somebody in the family that gave them or consulted on that. But anyway, it's so good. All the actors, everyone on that show deserve an award. Everyone. And I look at that show and I'm like, there had to be somebody inside to tell them some of the intricate details that even the press couldn't have covered or whatever. You know what I mean? And sometimes I wonder if the Queen is looking down. Well, not looking down, but would she ever have suspected this is how the kingdom would be after she's gone? It's really a S show. It's really a S show. It's laughable. It's laughable and it's sad. You know why? Because as a parent, I will come out, but I know that he wants to give William the respect because it's his marriage, his life, what's going on. And just like with you, Charles, the truth came out to some degree about your affairs, you know, and whatever else was going on. And look at you now. You're kind of like in a sort of better place with the woman that you love, right? So I say all this to say that tell the truth. Tell the truth. I'm so congested right now with my allergies right now, even though it's nighttime. I don't even have the energy to really give you what I really want to say on this podcast. But like I said the last time, I think it's all a smoke screen. Whatever is going on in the royal family right now, it's all a smoke screen. And we're the little minions that's out here going, what's next? But no, no. I think what the people that are following you are saying, what the heck? You tricked us again? This is a fake picture again? First of all, so I talked about the fake picture that Kate did. I know I'm all over the place right now, but Kate allegedly did. Because the thing is that if you claim that she's sick, why? And she never came out, and the whole world is asking, where is Kate? But yet the first thing that she does is to produce a picture of her and her kids. It didn't sit with me well. It didn't sit with me like, that's the first thing that you'll do, and it's on Mother's Day. That's the first thing. If anything, learn from the Queen. What would she have done? What she would have done is come on and make a statement, you know, something, you know, but they put up a fake picture, you know, a lot of detectives out there like me, and they're like, nope, come again, this is a fake. So then they said, oh, we're going to make an announcement. What announcement? What announcement? That Kate is not going to be showing up by Easter? Kate's going to be showing up when? In 2025? What's the announcement? That you and Kate are getting divorced, William? What's the announcement? There is no announcement. Other than to say, they're coming up with a plan. They're definitely coming up with a plan. And every plan that they come up with is just washed away. Because it's so idiotic and it's so whatever. And then I'm wondering, Charles and Camilla are like, I am not stepping foot. I'm not getting involved, because when the truth comes out, we're going to be looking like this and whatever. So I think King Charles and Camilla have an exit plan as far as for many things, but I think they have an exit plan in regards to the situation that's happening now, where the whole world is asking about Kate. They know the truth, what's going on. The whole family knows the truth. And they try to cover it up. And what happens when you cover up and tell a lie? The lie gets bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point that you cannot control it. And then when it spins out of control, and then you try to blame each other, which is what they're going to do if they haven't already, then it becomes a bigger S show. You know what I mean? And then they look like, oh, look at us and whatever. And then all of the people who don't follow them will be the ones that keep purchasing their stuff or whatever. Like I said a couple of years ago, I think in the end that Harry and Meghan will be the ones running the show, and they will be the true heirs. They will be the true king and queen one day. That's just my hope. That's what I'm feeling. And other than that, if that's not going to happen, then I think they just need to just make a decision as a family, do like all the other royal families, I've said this before, and just call it a day. And just said, you know what? The royal family will be thinning out, as far as we will not be on a big scale anymore. We will now be on a smaller scale, like all the other royal families next door to you guys, you know, in other countries. That's what they've done. The only large family out there that's taking in a lot of income for their country is the royal family of England. If you look at Spain, if you look at Dutch, if you look at all the other ones, they've all quietly still have their little title and their little monarchy or whatever, but they're not on a large scale. You know what I mean? And if you want to know what love is all about, take a look at Prince Philippe and his wife of Spain. Oh, I watched their wedding a long time ago. That's what I call true love in my eyes. I don't know what happens behind closed door, but with them, I've never seen a man wait for his wife to be as long as he did. Let me just give you a quick recap in case you don't know. He too married a divorced woman, which he saw. She used to be a television personality I think she did the news or something like that. And what happened is that he fell in love with her. And they were like, no, you cannot marry a divorcee because it's just like England. Or I think England was, they had the same rules or whatever. And he was like, no, Mama and Papa, I love her. So you know what his parents do? His parents look like they're loving parents. His parents say, son, because you're our only son and we have 2 other daughters, and you're going to be the heir to our kingdom and take over one day. We love you so much, and we're going to give you what you want. Yes, they did get a little bit of flack for it. People have their little protests. But at the end of the day, he was like, I love her. So what happened is that the day of the wedding, I don't know, my son was very young at the age. I heard about this wedding. I used to watch a lot of Spanish Telemundo shows. And then I remember to this day, I had it set as a reminder because, their time difference is, like England time almost, where let's say they're getting married at 8 o'clock is like what, 3-4 o'clock our time, a.m. or some kind of weird thing like that. So anyway, here I am sleeping, and I woke up at around 2 o'clock to turn on the TV and said, oh my gosh, the wedding is on. I forgot about the wedding. And for their wedding, the way that they got married, it was like, what was it like the car had to drive on the top of the roof in order to get to where they were going kind of thing. So here it is that they're in the cathedral, and the Prince Philippe is, and he's marrying Leticia, and he's already at the altar. Homeboy waited for almost like what seemed like eternity. He waited like, I want to say like 45 minutes to an hour. It could be longer. He waited that long at the altar, and they kept playing the music that, like for her to come, and she wasn't there. What would you do as a man getting married and you notice that, okay, she's supposed to be walking down the aisle right now, but she's not here? He actually stood there. He may have turned around a little bit. The parents were there. They didn't look stressed at all. And then come to find out, allegedly what happened was that it started to rain. So I think the story that they told at the time was that they had to go and get another limousine because I think she was supposed to walk part way, but because it was raining or something like that, or something to do with the gown and the car and the rain, they had to go and get another car or something another, or maybe she had cold feet, who knows, whatever. But homeboy stood there. He's not my homeboy, but the prince, he's very handsome. He stood there and waited patiently, from my observation, for his bride-to-be. And then finally she came. And they just looked at each other. And I remember, and they looked at each other and smiled. And I was like, wow. How many of you guys would actually stand there that long? You would probably be like, to your best man or to your mother, what's going on? What's going on? I think he looked back once and then looked at his mother and his parents, and I think maybe one person got up or something. Maybe they knew the situation ahead of time. I don't know, because maybe he was thinking of an exit plan, like what if she doesn't come through with this? But I think that with everything that they've gone through, once again, you can't leave your partner hanging. So if both of you are saying that you're in love and then the media is coming after you, both of you have to be in it together if you truly, truly love each other, right? So if William and Kate, or even Camilla, anybody in the royal family want to see what true love is from a royal perspective, go use them as your role model. Go use them as your role model. I'm not saying that everybody's life is perfect, but they're showing, but it comes from their parents. It comes from their love. You know what I mean? And they have 2 beautiful girls together. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all this to say, Charles, hello, Charles. Say something to your son, William, because this little game that he's playing, it's not looking good for your brand. And if you do want to change up things, King Charles, now is your time to do it. Nobody will fault you. Nobody will blame you. I think the royal family of England has run its course. I think, it will always be a popular thing, but I think people are just over it. You know what I mean? So if you don't listen to me, then continue to put out the lies. Continue to play these little games. And then you'll see the people that you think are following you are not going to follow you anymore. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you're probably saying it's our life. It is. It is. But if you're going to act like you're so perfect or like you're royal and you're setting the standard, then set the standard for little people, little kids looking up to you guys and fantasizing about you guys. Tell them the truth, So then they put out a picture again this week, today, and said, look, everyone, it's Kate and William on the property at a farm. So I look at the picture, and this time I did comment on a couple of social media pages. And I did go on TMZ, and somebody else already wrote the comment, and I just liked it. And the person was like, is it just me, or does this not look like Kate? Because I looked at the picture, and number one, I said, this person looked thinner. It wasn't so much about the thinness. You know what got it from me, guys? It was the height. Kate is tall, and William is tall. Take a look at the picture. Kate doesn't walk around, even on a day that they're doing sports. She doesn't walk around like all jovial and slouch back and whatever. And then second of all, why is the picture so foggy? I get if it was me and I was at the farm and I saw them and I'm going to quickly take out my camera and try and take a picture, I can understand that aspect. But if you're going to say this is coming from the royal family, then just like with all other announcements from the royal family, then why didn't you hire a photographer? I don't believe anything. Until Kate Middleton comes out in front of the paparazzi and give a speech to everyone and speak the truth, then I will believe. I don't want to hear about her medical records. If you get a divorce already. Move on with your life. But if William is giving you a hard time about the kids and about the title or whatever, then that's a tough one, sister. Because, I don't know. If you're trying to compare yourself to Diana had more clout than you. Diana had the love of the people. Diana, may her soul rest in peace, can say, because the people loved her to the point that Charles, I think, is a little bit kind-hearted in a sense. I don't think Charles would have used the kids. You get what I'm trying to say? To say, you're not getting a divorce, or I'm going to keep the kids from you. I don't think that was his personality. He may have said it, but I don't think he actually may have done it, allegedly. You know what I'm trying to say? William, on the other hand, I don't know. I just, I was mentioning before about The Crown. There was a scene in The Crown episode. I know you're probably saying, Lisa, it's a show. It's a show. Is it really? But there was a scene where Princess Diana had just died in The Crown on Netflix. And the kids, William and Harry, took it very hard. Of course, it's their beloved mother. But then the anger sets in. You know what I mean? The blame, and they were looking to Charles for the blame, a lot of the blame, allegedly. And Prince Philip, the grandfather, had a talk with William, allegedly, who then turned around and had a talk with Prince Charles, allegedly, and things kind of smooth over. But during that time, they said that William disappeared. I think I heard that when I was younger. William disappeared for almost a day. He disappeared for a very, very long time. Where the heck did he go? And then he had the family looking for him. So to me, that kind of gave the sense that I get that everyone grieves differently. I totally understand that. But for you to just up and disappear and don't tell anybody, and then you're gone for hours and then just show up like, oh, it's nothing. I don't know. It kind of gave me a sense of something need to be checked. It kind of gives me a sense of I can do whatever the heck I want to do and I don't care who you are. I think that the kids should have gotten therapy. Maybe they did. I don't know. I think a lot of behavior, even down to my own son, even down to any children, a lot of times their behavior is coming from a place of hurt or a place of misunderstanding or a place of frustration. You know what I mean? So here it is that your beloved mother has just passed away, which the whole world loves. You know, you didn't get a chance to say, they may have had regrets, who the heck knows. But then all the brunt of it comes out on the remaining parent, you know? And then that parent is having an affair or doing something, and then that adds another layer of stuff because you feel like that other woman is replacing your mother. So it's so many things happening, and I come to realize as a parent that you may think that your child or children is handling things okay to some degree, but they're internalizing and thinking something completely different than what you're thinking of. You know what I mean? So it's about talking to your kids, and there are some kids that don't want to talk to, but when they do talk, you better believe that you better be there to listen to them. But to me, that little act by him, and maybe he did other things, was just a sign of, what the heck? You know? Like, how can you just disappear? And we don't know who you are. Even security didn't know where you are. You just took it upon yourself and just selfishly, if you wanted time alone, just say you wanted time alone. But he just disappeared and just went off on his own into the woods or the wilderness or whatever. Who knows what he did, where he went, you know? And, but that just proves to me that you're just a regular family that goes through regular problems, you know what I mean? Or whatever, you know? And being a parent is a tough job. But being a parent in the spotlight is even tougher. And when you have children that are grown and married, it's kind of like, at what point as a parent do you intervene? Because they're adults. And I'm sure Charles is like, if my mama and papa had intervened in my marriage, which they probably did to some degree, how would I behave? Charles still did what he wanted to do. That's why I said the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They're doing what they see. And that's, to me as a parent, I feel like my son is not all about the talking, because I love to talk, and he thinks it's annoying and nagging or whatever. But he's going by my actions. And it took me a long time to realize that too. Because then he will mention stuff like, well, you're saying that you're on a diet, but you eating this, you know, that kind of stuff or whatever. So they look at your actions, even if it's the littlest thing as me eating a donut. So I'm here again talking about this royal family of England. I don't know why. Because it's like, I see some people talking about it on their news station, and half of them haven't even kept up with the royal. You can tell, and I'm just looking like, man, even they're talking about the royals because it's news. And like somebody said, Kate hasn't gotten this much attention from ever, except maybe when she got married or whatever. But here's the thing though, if there is something wrong, tell us, say the truth. But at this point, I don't think anybody will believe anything that they have to say anyway. So the only way that you can tell the truth is to have a press conference, and I would like to see Charles and Camilla, Prince William and Kate, all together at the press conference. It'd be nice if I can see the entire family in back of them, supporting each other, But and if they're getting a divorce and it is a divorce announcement, then I think Kate's mother and father and her family should be on her side so she can have some support, and then William has his support. But I don't think you should ever use the children against anything. You're both parents, you know what I mean? If that's the case, if that's the way that they're leaning towards, I think maybe she's holding out and saying that, if allegedly he does have other outside kids, I can see why she's holding out, because that was one of the rumors as well. We can speculate till kingdom come. And the royal family has probably been telling lies for years, and we weren't aware of it. We just believe everything that everyone says and do. But we're now in the age of social media where people are questioning everything. So, like I said before, and I'll say it again, I really hope that she's okay, because after all, she is a human being. And I hope that family finds peace, because apparently they're not at peace. They're not. I think a lot of it, and I'm trying to look at William myself because I'm an older child of my siblings. He's the oldest. And like I said before, there's a lot of jealousy there, on both sides, because it's like everyone is looking. Oh, and for those people who are still trying to call Meghan and Harry, don't, because you even look like you don't even know what you're talking about. And it was so funny when I saw the first picture of the Mother's Day picture, and I went on Instagram and I'm scrolling down in the comments because I like to go to the comments. All I'm seeing is all of these people, probably from England. Oh, how beautiful Kate looks. Oh my gosh, we missed you. And I was just like, I find the timing of the picture so weird. I don't think it's real. And now they all know it was a fake. Just like that was a fake Kate who probably came out to take the picture at the farm. Everything about this storyline is so, it's like, is this a story? Are we in a nightmare or something? It's kind of like, you just proven maybe William is doing it on purpose, so therefore he'll say he doesn't want the royal family. And then I looked into it because there's this English guy that has a YouTube channel. I forgot what his name is also. I should really have these people's name. But basically, I did some research based on what he said, and it's not that easy to take down the royal family in regards to, let's say that I'm in the royal family and I don't want William to be king. I can't just say me alone, I don't want William to be king. It's a process where 3 or 5 of them have to sign off. Look into it, guys. They have to sign off, and then it has to go. In other words, just in case, like, if there's a coup de grace or something, or there's a coup, they want to take down somebody, and because they don't like them and say, we don't want you to be king or queen anymore. It doesn't happen with just one person, guys. It has to be a collective group of them that say, we don't want you to be king. Then they have to file the notion. Then they got to go through this and go through that. And then when they go through all these different people and processes, that's when the person is no longer a king. You believe that? But anyway, We'll see what the announcement is. I'll tell you what the announcement is. I'll say the announcement for you. We the royal family want to thank everyone for their kind wishes and time over the past few months as we take time to reflect on what's important in life. And what's important in life is family. And even though we family go through hard times and great times, right now it is a not so great time because we want to officially announce that this decision was very hard in the making, but we're going to announce it today. Dun 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 dun. Did I sound like them? Guys, only time will tell. Time will tell. Time will tell. And if this is William's way of saying that he doesn't want to be king, then let them start the process. You know? But I don't think his ego will let him do that. Because he doesn't want Harry to become queen. And they definitely don't want Prince Andrew. So then give it to Prince Edward. And Princess Anne will definitely take over if she could. But the queen never signed the papers in time. She signed it in what? 2022? 19 to 22. One of those years. Where now a girl can now succeed in the succession line. You know? But then with all these rumors coming out about this alleged baby out there, around the same time that the baby was born. So it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Are you going to change the laws now to include illegitimate children? Before I go, I want to give you another example to take after the royal family. There was a princess called, oh my gosh, why am I going blank? You know, the movie star princess. Why am I going blank? Oh my gosh. Anyway, the prince, oh Lord, why am I even mentioning it and I don't have anything in front of me? Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. Was the princess of, oh my goodness gracious. Can't think, guys. Can't think right now because I'm so congested. Grace Kelly. Okay. Princess Grace Kelly. She has passed away. And her son, Prince Albert. She had one boy and two girls, right? Almost like Spain, but they're from Morocco. They're over there, you know. And she was a movie star, you know, and she married the Prince of Monaco. And basically, her son loves black women. And he had a child for a black woman, or shall we say an African-American. No, she's not African-American. She's a black woman. Because I don't know what country she's from. But he was allegedly like, as one would say, a wild person. You know, like he had lots of women in his life, but one of them was successful as far as we know, which was the black lady, and had a child for him. But according to another royal, some kind of rule, because he's considered an illegitimate child because they were never married. So what did he do years later? Years later, he married a Caucasian woman and had twins. I think they have more children now. I don't remember, but I remember the twins. So, I remember the story a long time ago because I like Princess Grace and her movies and whatever, right? And I'm like, hold up. You mean to tell me that he just got married and he's not acknowledging his child who is black? Hello? So what do you think that he did? He went and announced it to his country, like they didn't already know, but he officially announced, because they gave the impression, allegedly back then, that, yes, he knows it's his child. They did the paternity test and all that kind of stuff, and he's been well taken care of, or whatever, like, but you're to the side. You will never, which I think they need to change that law. You know what I mean? So what happened is that he came out and he told the world, yes, this handsome young black boy is my child. Learn lessons from each other. He came out and told the truth. He came out and told the truth. The wife know, the siblings know, or whatever. Everybody knows. Yes, I have a black child and I have white children. It's about telling the truth. The truth will set you free. He didn't have to, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be okay with your thoughts. You're gonna be okay with your actions. You're gonna be okay with what you're saying and doing. And in an age where you're pretending to be diverse and pretending like you like everyone and you're running a country, how can you run a country and say that you don't like a certain set of people? It doesn't fly. It doesn't work. You know what I mean? And this is your own flesh and blood. So I say all this to say that there are plenty of examples for the royal family to take after if they need help and assistance, because whatever they're doing is not working. Okay? So take it from families that you may look upon and think that you're better than them, but are you really? You know what I mean? Here it is that the truth is out and people moved on with their life, but you just keep giving out these fake stories and these fake pictures and thinking that, oh, they believe us because they love us more. Do we really? I don't know, royal family. I don't know if you're royal. I'm more royal than you at this point. You know, what makes you royal? Is it the money? Or is it the status? Or is it the followers? What really makes you more royal than me? That's what I'd like to know. What makes you more royal than the other royals? What? I would love to hear the answer for that one. But I will sign off like the British family and say thank you. Thank you all for listening to today's episode. Signing off now from the British Broadcasting Corporation. Oh, no. We're not the British Broadcasting. We're Lisa. GO10LISA podcast broadcasting. Signing off. Until next time. Later, people. Until next time. Bye.